Adam? Adam Dalgleish? I have to go over to the house. I haven't phoned you at the yard, but you've already left.
That's all right, Minister. I could see you later today if you wish.
No. You go on to the house, Gavin. Take the papers up to the office and hold the fort for half an hour. You can deal with the Treasury member. You know what I think.
You've got constituents visiting, Minister.
Get someone to settle them with coffee or a drink. I'll look in briefly at 12.
Remember lunch, sir? Your wife's birthday.
I may not be able to make that. Leave it with me. I'm sorry for the short notice, Adam.
How can I help?
Something's turned up. It isn't particularly important now, but it may become so. Can you walk with me? St. James's Park. Must have heard more scandal and secrets than the rest of London put together. Don't open it now. Inside you'll find 6... extracts? Compositions. They've been posted to me at my home over the last month. The most recent arrived this morning. Up to now, I haven't taken much notice of them.
Well, you've kept them. You've taken that much notice.
And they're a cut above the usual anonymous filth. You'll be interested. Careful punctuation. The prose even has a certain rhythm.
What do they say?
Suggestion rather than statement. One of them, for instance, carries sharp implications about my role in the car accident that killed my first wife.
Oh, but you were lucky to get out alive yourself.
Yes, but I was at the wheel. The author of these little letters knows exactly where it hurts to prod.
And this morning's?
A selection of facts about my second marriage.
What do you want me to do?
Keep a watching brief for me. I don't expect you to try to find the writer, though if it continues and comes out into the open, somebody will have to deal with it. At the moment, I just wanted to put you fully in the picture.
And have you?
When I can see the picture myself, Adam, that's when I'll be able to tell you. So, what exactly are you doing at the moment?
Oh, lecturing to the senior command course at Bramshill, then setting up the new squad.
When does that become operational? Next month?
Yes.
Sensitive crimes. Follies and foibles of politicians, diplomats, financiers. Maybe I'll see more of you. I've had 2 careers, you know, the law and then politics, both dirty games. What about senior policemen? Do they sleep well at night?
Yes, well, it's been done.
I'll be in touch.
Somebody's in a rush. Gotta go out suddenly. Phone call, won't you? Who's the lucky lad?
There's a note on the kitchen table
Explaining. You've explained. Here, you be good, Diana.
Lovely. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Lady Verone, and a happy birthday. Will you wait for supper?
No, we won't wait.
He'll try and join us later.
Well, what can one say to a woman who grows more beautiful every year? And what can one give to a woman who has everything? Dearest Barbara, a very happy birthday.
Stephen. Oh, it's beautiful. Thank you, darling. Thank you.
Now, food.
Well, actually, I have a little surprise for you. I'm pregnant.
Did you tell him we'd be here?
Of course not. And remember, it's my birthday. Love me, love my brother. Be nice.
And how are you, Stephen?
Hello, Dominic.
I've come to see you.
Well, now you have.
We're pissed but happy. Would you like us to join you?
Don't be wicked, Dominic. Go away.
Don't worry, we're just trying to persuade Jean-Pierre to give us a table down by the river. Déjeuner sur l'herbe.
Yes, I'm sure he'd prefer you down there.
No, Dominic. No.
No, look, we're going outside, okay? I'll be with you in a minute.
My apologies, Lady Baronne, Monsieur Lampard. Your brother and his friends will have a table outside as they wish.
Well out of earshot. Now you can leave that for now. You're pregnant. You sure?
I rang my doctor about the tests this morning. Positive.
Have you told Paul?
No, of course not.
Well, don't tell him anything, not yet, just in case. Well, you know what I mean, just in case. Right, Barbara? Now, food and drink. And let's try not to talk about your husband for a while.
Nothing simpler.
Where'd you get that from? I got it round the corner. Go put it back. We can't go in that.
You're gonna drown yourself.
Oh, come on.
Don't be such a baby. Get the grass.
Just enjoy. Don't fall in. What's wrong?
Nothing. Others who have applied for the new group have heard.
How do you know them?
Grapevine? It's not from wrong. It's 2 months since I made the application, sir. 6 weeks since the interview. In 2 weeks, the new group becomes operational. It is reasonable to assume that the application failed.
Why have you made this appointment, Inspector? What do you want to say exactly?
There aren't so many senior detective posts for women that I can afford to let any chance slip by. For the same reason, I need to know why I've been turned down. Whether it's to do with qualifications, attitude, experience. For the sake of my next application, I need to know so.
Excuse me. Uglies. Come on now. Yes, I can. No, I'll come now. I'm sorry, Inspector. I've got to go and see the Assistant Commissioner.
I can wait.
That wouldn't be practicable. I then got to drive out of Bramshill for a seminar.
I could drive you. I've cleared my desk. We could talk in the car, if that's practicable.
I'll meet you here, 20 minutes.
For God's sake!
Stop whining.
Will you get off?
you idiot.
Come on, get off.
Where's Diana?
Well, she was with you, for God's sake, last time, wasn't she? Snogging in the
Dived in before me.
Oh, just get off the boat.
Are you
Dom,
serious?
Diana?
For God's sake, Dom!
Oh, where the hell is she?
Dom! Get out the
She
way.
was just in front of me.
Oh, come on.
Diana!
Come on.
Diana!
There has been an accident, but everything has been done. There's no need to fear.
Is it Dominic?
Stay here.
Get some help!
Tony, she's not breathing.
You're not doing it right!
Shut up, will you?
Stop flooding, Jenny!
I mean, she do
Say that.
Oh my God!
This seminar, sir, may I ask what it's about?
Policing a free society. The next decade, it's a part of the senior command course. You ambitious, Inspector?
Yes, sir.
You live alone?
Yes. I don't have a family, if that's what you mean. Just my grandmother, she brought me up.
In Camden Town?
Yes, sir. She's still there. She looked after me when my mother died.
Disadvantaged background. Woman in a man's world, wrong sex, wrong class. Were you hoping a post in a new and important group might wipe the slate clean once and for all? Inspector, watch your speed. You're over the limit.
Yes, sir.
The job's yours if you want it.
So when will Sir Paul return home? I need to speak to him very soon. Where can I reach him? I have tried his office. Well, you must know when you're expecting him back.
Almighty God, who has given us grace at this time with one accord to make our common supplications unto thee, and hast promised that when 2 or 3 are gathered together in thy name, thou wilt grant their requests. Fulfill now, O Lord, the desires and petitions of thy servants, as may be most expedient for them, granting us in this world knowledge of thy truth, and in the world to come, life everlasting. Amen.
Amen.
The grace of our Lord Jesus Christ, and the love of God, and the fellowship of the Holy Ghost be with us all evermore. Amen.
Amen.
No prizes for guessing what I'll find in here.
Perhaps Our Lady's a little out of the way here, Father.
She has one devotee. That's all that matters.
Good night, Father.
Good night, Miss Wharton. I think St. Matthew's would not begrudge the occasional candle, gratis and for free. Good evening. I'm sorry if I may have intruded on your meditation, only I'm afraid I have to lock the church between services. It's vandals and thieves. It's a great disappointment.
Yes, of course.
If you're interested in St. Matthew's, you'll find a booklet on the stand. It's written by Father Collins, distant predecessor of mine. We've always meant to revise it. We only charge 3 pence.
I'm sure you can find good use for the rest. Father
Barnes. Francis Barnes.
Is there something wrong?
You came to Mass on Sunday.
Yes.
Who are you?
My name is Paul Barone.
Will you come to St. Matthew's again?
Yes, I will.
Good night, then.
Mrs. Iris Minns?
Yes?
My colleague and I work for Dunmore and Grail, solicitors. We represent the family of Diana Travers. There's a phone number you should call if you have any doubts concerning our genuineness.
What's all this about?
There's been an accident, Mrs. Minns. May we come in?
waiting out on the site.
See what I thought?
They didn't care, is what I'm telling you. Nobody cared, not a bit.
I'm supposed to be resting.
I'm sorry. It's just when I think about Diana. You know, she was so full of life.
Well, don't think of her then. Anyway, who told you I was here?
Matty, I stopped off at the house. Be kind to me.
Oh, darling. You weren't to blame.
Well, who was then?
Come here. Come here. Now, why aren't you at the theatre? Wouldn't it help to be working?
I couldn't settle. I told them to get somebody else to make tea and take their phone calls.
Poor baby.
There just should be somebody, you know. Somebody wanting to...
To what?
I don't know. Get to the truth of what happened.
What truth? Wasn't it all very simple? Seemed that way to me.
Yeah. You know, I was watching you. You couldn't take your eyes off her, could you? You were fascinated.
What are you doing here?
It's all right, Stephen.
Barbara needs to rest. She's undergone a long and tiring examination.
I know, I'm sorry.
You all right? Be some tea along in a minute.
Dominic's just a bit upset that the police don't seem particularly concerned about this girl's death.
What do you expect them to do? It was obviously an accident.
That's what I keep telling him.
Unless you know something we don't.
I just wish we hadn't found the bloody boat.
You'd all of you had far too much to drink. And you and the girl were foolish enough to try to swim. You were lucky. Now your sister needs to rest.
Yes. You better go, Dominic. Don't blame yourself. It wasn't your fault.
Well, thank God you were there, Stephen. The rest of us were pathetic.
What time do you finish?
No, my last consultations are 5. We can leave about 6. Yes. I thought nobody was supposed to know you were here.
Oh, I left a message for Paul to ring me. He needs to appreciate his good luck. And his wife. Thank you. Hello, Paul? Guess where I am?
I don't have time for games. What do you want, please?
Well, I'm at Pembroke Lodge. Paul, I was just good.
I'm on my way to a meeting. The car is waiting. You're not listening to me. I can't talk now.
Do I have to make an appointment?
Look, Barbara, I'm very busy.
I'll see you at home then, tonight.
I can't say when.
Listen, tonight. I'll be there about 10. Just make damn sure that you are too.
Oh, if you want to polish in here, I'll be gone in a minute, Mrs. Minns.
It's about that poor girl, sir.
Yes?
I know Diana only came in twice a week and wasn't here above a month, but you expect a bit of concern.
But what's the problem, Mrs. Minns?
Well, it's about the wreath, sir, from all of us working here.
Oh, you should be talking to Miss Matlock.
Well, that's the trouble, isn't it? No wreath, she says. Not from this address. And that's not right.
I see. Well, I'll speak to Miss Matlock. Of course we send flowers.
I'm very glad to hear you say that, sir. She lodged with me, you see, sir.
Go home, Mrs. Minns. Take the rest of the day off. I can see that you're upset. Leave Miss Matlock to me.
It's just a lack of respect, sir. I mean, it was the same with those solicitors going through her things.
I'm sorry, I have to go now.
Yes, sir. Oh, this was on the hall table. Second post.
Thank you. Hello, Teresa. How is my mother?
Oh, she's had a better day, sir. She hasn't felt the sciatica so much.
Good.
Sir Paul, Lady Ursula asked me to collect a book from you. She says you know all about it.
You look tired.
So do you.
Come along, then. You're not a foreign spy, Teresa.
No.
Open my briefcase, then. The book's got a dark cover, a picture of a knight in armor, and a chessboard.
Lady Ursula's a marvel for her age. I think she'll get some sleep tonight.
That's good. Oh, bring it here. I tell you what, if you like to leave it, I'll take it up myself. My mother knew the author. He's dead now. Mentions her several times. Yeah.
Is that Lady Ursula?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, she's seen so much of life.
Oh, yes. She's a survivor.
Must be hard on her to have to spend so much time on her own. Not to be able to be as young as her mind.
You're religious, Mattie tells me.
I go to church.
And you have faith?
Yes.
Do you believe in miracles?
Miracles happen, whether you believe in them or not. Is that all, sir? You'll take the book up yourself?
Yes. Teresa.
Sir?
No, nothing. Good night.
Good night, sir.
You'll come in with me, won't you?
Mother? Mother?
Hmm?
How are you tonight, Mother?
Well, I'm still alive and in my right mind, as you can see.
I've brought you your book.
What?
There's a picture of you when you were on the stage. I had forgotten you were so beautiful.
I had no talent. The stage was my only available defiance when I was 18. Oh,
for heaven's sake, why not have your hip replacement done privately? Aren't you suffering unnecessarily?
I prefer to be treated as a national health patient. I enjoy my privileges, but that's one I don't happen to want. I doubt you understand. Well? Oh, Paul, what is it? Hmm? Your brother would always speak directly. You have to sidle up to things.
I need to talk to you.
I'm tired. I'm too old for late-night conversation.
Mother, please, it is very important. Recently, I went into a church.
No.
Now, I know that you will find this difficult to accept, but there I had the most extraordinary experience.
Don't burden me with your spiritual adventures. As far as I'm concerned, religion died in the mud of Flanders.
We'll talk tomorrow. I hope you sleep well.
Yes. Well, thank you, dear.
You should try to see more people, Mother.
At my age, the few people one might wish to see are all dead. Come in.
I'll see you in the morning.
Good night.
Night again.
Good night, sir.
Why is he here?
I asked Stephen to come.
So, what is all this about? You insist on this meeting as though we seldom had opportunity to speak. You bring this man as some kind of witness.
Barbara is pregnant, Paul.
A son.
The tests are conclusive.
A son, Paul.
Who's the father?
That's unworthy, even of you. The child is yours.
And the pregnancy healthy.
How can I believe this?
I had a vasectomy many years ago. The child is yours.
Well, the minister lost for words. Aren't you pleased?
I hadn't planned to tell you this yet, but since you're here, I intend to withdraw my investment from your clinic.
You spiteful bastard.
No, I've never complained of my role as cuckold.
You realize the damage this will do to me?
Oh, yes.
If a major shareholder withdraws his investment now, others will want to know why.
The decision is personal.
You must be losing your mind.
Leave us, Stephen. It's all right, it won't happen.
Well, you must give me time, a month at least, to find alternative investment.
I want you stopped.
Thank you for coming home with me, Stephen. I'll call you in the morning. Don't worry.
What a strange man you are, Paul. Not a word to your wife about the child she's carrying. No concern, no congratulations.
It was Hugo who put the money into Pembroke Lodge, not you.
My brother is dead.
He was Stephen's best friend, and you're going against his wishes. Stephen's right, you're cracking up. This is all nonsense anyway. Your mother will stop you. It was Hugo's investment, and she adored Hugo as much as she despises you.
We can't all be heroes.
Don't you dare mock Hugo.
I loved my brother, you know that.
You did quite well out of his death. Title, estate, the Barone house.
And you.
My mistake.
And mine. Tell me something. Did Hugo know his best friend was sleeping with his fiancée? Were you and Stephen in bed together the night the IRA shot Hugo?
What a hypocrite you are.
One more thing. I'm selling this house.
You're out of your mind.
I've changed, Barbara.
Are you in some sort of trouble? Do you owe money?
You won't listen, will you?
Have you told your mother about the house?
I'll tell her tomorrow.
I'll want nannies and nurses and things. I don't like babies much, but I'm going to like this one. This one is my insurance to see me safely into comfortable old age. Like Ursula. Do you know why I like Stephen? He makes me laugh. He makes life fun.
How many have you got?
10.
So, full complement by July?
Yes, sir. Mr. Dalglish's office. Yes, could you hold a moment, please? Sir Paul Barone. Do you want me to go?
Yeah. Thank you. Dalglish. Good morning, Minister. No, that's not possible, I'm afraid. Well, what time do you get back from your constituency? Yeah, yes, I can. 8 o'clock, then. 62 Cameron Hill Square, yes, I know it. I look forward to it.
It's 11 o'clock. The architect's office just phoned. They said you'd already left. They said it was important.
I spoke to them yesterday.
They need confirmation about the new extension.
Well, phone them back now. Now. Tell them, as I told them yesterday, that we'll be going ahead as planned. They'll have written confirmation by the weekend.
It's the old problem, Paul. For generations, everyone said, how pretty, pass by. Now they need a small fortune spent merely to keep standing. The trustees cry, rebuild.
a case of which banner to stand under. Hands off history or safety for citizens.
Can we get back? I have to be in the house by 4.
Yes, of course.
Not staying to lunch, then?
I have to tell you, I'm applying for the Chiltern Hundreds. The PM will have my resignation tomorrow.
For God's sake, man, why?
I'm sorry to break it like this, but my life has to take another turn now. It's as simple as that.
Paul, you're a member of Parliament, not driving a bloody bus.
I don't need you to remind me of my responsibilities, Frank.
What about loyalty to your constituency, Paul?
A politician has to listen to humbug, talk humbug, condone humbug. We don't actually have to believe it.
Scandal. We're not going to find you plastered across the Sunday tabloids.
You're not.
Have you been offered something big in the city?
No.
And what's this all about? What's this turn you have to take?
I don't know. I haven't been shown yet.
Shown by whom?
God.
You owe us total honesty, Paul.
You think so? On your behalf and the government's, I stand up to conceal inconvenient truth. On behalf of this constituency, I sit each Saturday in my office here listening to miseries about which I can do nothing. Total honesty, you say? Well, in total honesty, I can't do this anymore. My life could close tonight. I would have done not one single thing of real importance. I need to begin again, to get straight while there's still time.
Well, it's been typed on the same sort of machine as the others.
Presumably, it's the last of the sequence. It ties it all up, wouldn't you say? Brings together all the innuendo and slots in the dirt from the Diana Travers drowning.
Letters like this are an occupational hazard in public life. You must get hundreds of them. Why does it bother you so much?
I find it wounding to couple my first wife's death with hints about drunken riverside parties and the naked body of his domestic servant.
Were you at the scene of the time of the drowning?
Of course not.
And this can be verified?
Certainly.
Why worry?
But what if it is true, Adam? The unbearable thought that anyone who comes too close to me, my wife, Hugo, Diana Travers.
Diana Travers? Was she close to you?
Do you think I'm going to pieces?
Well, I hope not. At least not until my stint on your House of Commons Select Committee is over. Can I keep this? I think our document people should take a look at it.
Yes, all right. You'll have another coffee.
Yes, please.
Are you sure you won't...
No. This is a beautiful house. How long's your family lived here?
150 years. The house was built for us, just in time. My great-grandfather lost a fortune because he was fascinated by a subject for which he had absolutely no talent. Finance. Luckily, he'd already paid Soane for designing this house.
That it came to you after your brother was killed 5 years ago.
Yes. Yes. Most of the things I expected to value in life have come to me through death.
Why only expected to value?
Ah, Mattie. This is Mattie, who keeps us all going. Without her, we'd grind to a halt. The commander would like some more coffee.
What time will your visitor be leaving, sir?
That's all right, Mattie. I'll see him out.
Making sure the house is secure and locked is my responsibility, sir. I'll wait in the kitchen.
As you wish.
Thank you.
Do you know who she is? Her name's Matlock. You don't remember Percy Matlock? Murder case?
No.
Well, it never made the headlines. At the time, I was still a barrister, though never very good at pretending a client was innocent just because he didn't actually confess to me. Do you know, by the time you've seen your third rapist walk free, Simply because you've been cleverer than the prosecuting counsel, you lose heart.
Oh, come on, you had a good reputation.
Well, I lost this case, which turned out to be crucial to me. Percy Matlock killed his wife's lover, and we were confident we'd get the charge reduced to manslaughter and then find plenty of mitigation. I lost because I didn't prepare carefully enough. I thought I didn't need to. And I was in love at the time. You know how that can overwhelm one, like a sickness. So, my client was convicted and he died in prison. His daughter, who was none too stable even before that, spent 3 years in a mental hospital. She contacted me when she came out.
And you felt the need to offer her a job and a home.
So I live with a constant reminder of my arrogance and failure. Her gratitude, her devotion even, doesn't make it easier.
Thought you wasn't coming.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry I'm late, Darren. There was a queue at the flower shop.
Look, this is something from my mum, right? For getting me tea and that. It's all good stuff. I got Uncle Joe with a cafe at Kilburn. I'll carry it.
That's very kind of her, Darren, but really there's no need. I know she works late, and I'm glad to have your company. But please, thank her.
Right.
I do wish you would let me come and visit her one evening. She must wonder who you spend so much time with.
She ain't worried. Anyway, she ain't home now. I got an uncle up Romford, you know, she's visiting.
And who's looking after you at night?
I'm staying with a neighbour if you want to know.
Don't mean to be nosy.
Do you know they got laugh paper at 48p for a double roll at that new supermarket in Notting Hill? I could get you some if you're interested.
That's a very good price. I'll try and get up there, Darren. Thank you. Good afternoon.
All right, Harry?
Oh, there. Come along, Darren. Your allowance.
Thanks. There you go, lady.
Hello. Is Father Barnes here?
Dunno.
I'm looking for Father Barnes.
He should be here quite soon for evensong.
How much did you pay for that bag there?
I honestly can't remember, I'm afraid.
Shop round the back of Queensway does them cheap. I mean, if you're interested.
Father Barnes.
We'll be on our way then, Father.
You're not staying for evensong?
It's one of my days to give Darren his tea. I'll be in early in the morning to clean the vestry, Father. I just wanted Our Lady to have fresh flowers today. Good night.
Good night. You remember we spoke?
Yes, indeed, I remember.
I saw you had a bed in the room you use, your vestry.
Someone might be taken ill during a service. I rest there if I have to be in church all day. But for staying here...
I'm willing to pay generously.
No, please, it's not that.
This one night, just this once, I need to be not anywhere else.
The bed wouldn't be aired. There's no proper linen.
I have to stay here tonight. I'm in no trouble, Father. No worldly trouble. If you have doubts, then lock me in your church when you leave and let me out tomorrow. But I need to be here tonight alone.
I could leave you my key to the outer door after evensong. I have a spare at the vicarage. I would ask you please to lock it behind me when I go.
Thank you. I'll return the key to the vicarage in the morning.
Well, I've put the lights on for evensong. Just the two of us.
Good.
Sir,
Oh, you waiting for me?
Diana Travers drowning. I've got the file and the post-mortem.
And?
The incident happened at the Black Swan Cookham, Thames Valley District, right? But the post-mortem wasn't done by the Thames Valley pathologist.
Well, then who?
Jonathan Andrews.
Andrew?
Yeah.
Why does a special branch pathologist get caught to an accident that's supposed to be totally straightforward?
I thought you'd like to have it tonight, sir.
Thanks.
What time did you tell Maggie we'd see her?
You heard me tell her, didn't you? Well, didn't you? You told her we'd come past at 8:10. What's the panic?
They begin the singing at 8:30 in the Three Feathers.
So what's the panic?
Oh, I like to be there for the singing to start. Who'll be in there this time of night? Barnes on bloody overtime.
Strip washing in the vestry to save his gas bill at the vicarage.
He's a poor sort of man. He's been painting. Look, painting. Washing out his brushes.
And don't I know who it'll be, having to scrub the paint off that bloody old duster of a cassock he's got.
Step out now, woman.
What's the panic? There's plenty of time.
Morning.
Gotcha! Oh, did make me jump, Darren. Oh, you do remind me of my brother. He was just like you, afraid of nothing, full of energy. He was an airman during the last war.
Where is he now, then?
Oh, his plane was shot down over Germany. He was a rear gunner, tail end Charlie.
That his name?
No, that's what they call rear gunners. It would be a good, quick way to die, wouldn't it? That's my comfort. School, Darren?
Look, it ain't got to yet. Anyway, it's prayers first. I'm better off in a proper church like this, you know, with candles and that. It's already open.
Darren, be quiet. Father Barnes is here.
What have you done?
Miss what? The allowance.
Darren? Darren?
What? Yeah?
the vicarage, fetch Father Barnes. I'll wait here.
You can't wait here.
Seems wrong to leave them, both of us.
That's stupid. You can't do anything. They're dead. Stiff. Suppose he's still here, right? Down here somewhere, waiting us and watching. You come with me, okay? If you think so. That's what I think. Now, come on.
We must lock this door.
I'll do it.
I can't walk down. Don't fetch Father Barnes. We better see. Can't get anyone inside.
Are you going to be all right?
Almighty God, whom to drive the spirits of them that depart hence in the name of the Lord.
Indo. You gotta come, quick.
The Lord's my shepherd, I shall not want him. Lie down.
Fingerprints and photography are on their way.
Uh-huh.
Now, the lab's sending over the senior pathologist. She'll meet us there.
What about Kynaston?
Well, he flew in from the States to Heathrow 2 hours ago, but we can't find him. Must be stuck on the motorway.
We'll keep on trying, won't we?
The pathologist is available now, sir.
No, I want Kynaston. This vicar, Father Bar... Was it Catholic Church?
No, Anglo-Catholic, very high Anglican. I am sorry, by the way. About your friend.
Do you know the fastest route to the church?
Sir.
Take it.
Good morning, sir. Inspector Glyn Morgan.
Good morning. Inspector Miskin.
How do you do, Inspector? Now, this way, sir. The bodies are in a room they call the Little Vestry, sir. I've seen the crime officers here, sir.
Tommy Ferris?
Yes, sir.
Good. You can get ready.
Who found them?
Miss Wharton, sir. Church worker. And a young boy. 8:45 as nearest, damn it.
Were the lights on?
Not on the stairs. These were, they say.
Where's this lead to?
Oh, it's blocked up, sir. Hasn't been used for years.
What about the telephone? Anyone touched it?
No, sir. It was off the hook.
Where are Miss Wharton and the boy now?
Oh, up in the church, sir.
I don't see.
11. Father Barnes, who reported the deaths, is here too, sir.
I'll speak to them as soon as I can. We better contact the boy's parents, get him away from here as soon as possible.
Oh, I'll do that, sir. Inspector.
Gloves. All right. With this amount of blood, I'd ask whoever was with me, man or woman. One single slash across the throat. Apparently, yes, left to right. What did they say his name was?
I have it as Harry Maxer.
Anything known?
Nothing.
Three cuts? 2 tentative, the third severing the trachea. Right, what do you think?
Well, 2 tries before he could finish the job. Seems obvious. Murder, followed by suicide.
Hold on, look at his hand.
If he'd held the razor firmly, which he'd have to inflict this much damage, surely you'd expect less blood on the palm.
All right. I choose this place. Was he religious? Certainly no comfort here.
Whatever he was looking for, I don't think it was comfort. See if there are any matches or a lighter in his pocket, will you?
No, sir. I'll try his jacket. Set of keys. Wallet. Fountain pen. No, no matches, no lighter.
Not in his bag?
No, sir.
Bring me his fountain pen. Thank you. Something looks to have been blotted here recently. Well, it's soaking. Someone's washed themselves in here and used it to dry on.
Why not use Paul's towel next door?
Which is dry, yes?
Yes.
Well, if it was the killer, he'd hardly want to come back for it. Too much blood, too much risk of leaving a clue. Better to use what he found to hand here.
Harry Max, I guess.
Probably. Where's the rest of his stuff? Excuse me.
So they come in pairs.
Only the best?
My granddad used one like that.
Same cheese?
Yes.
Inspector, I want you to break the news to his family. It's 62 Camden Hill Square off Holland Park Avenue.
Yes, I know it.
Take a DC with you. When the news breaks, they're going to be pestered. They'll need protection.
Then back here.
Yeah. There's a wife, a housekeeper, and an elderly mother, Lady Ursula Barone. Not an easy household. Be careful. Charlie?
Hello, sir.
It's all yours. The enamel mug, the tea towel, and the wash bag, they're all important. And the S-bend in the sink trap. Probability is the murderer washed himself here. And the vestry, I want you to concentrate on the blotter on the telephone and what looks to be a diary and a newly struck match in the grate. In fact, the entire debris in the fireplace.
Right, sir. I'll see what I can find for you.
Sir?
Anyone here, Inspector?
Still waiting on forensic.
Damn.
Miss Wharton's very shaken.
Well, she up to making a clear statement.
I would say not.
Well, I'll speak to her briefly, then get a WPC to drive her home. Will there be anyone there?
I gather not. She lives alone.
Well, then get the WPC to make her a cup of tea and stay as long as necessary.
Yes, sir.
All I'm really interested at this stage is whether she or the boy entered the vestry.
Both adamant they did not, sir.
I'm told you must see me and that it can't wait.
Lady Barone.
I suppose it's something to do with my husband. What has he done?
I'm sorry to have to inform you that Sir Paul Barone was found dead this morning.
You've made a mistake.
I'm sorry, no.
Where?
St Matthew's Church, Paddington.
Paddington? How did he die?
There were wounds on his body, Lady Barone.
Did he shoot himself?
Another body was found beside your husband's.
Who?
A tramp. A man called Harry Mack.
My husband is dead, you tell me, in some Paddington church with a tramp. I can't believe any of this.
I'm very sorry.
A note? Did he leave a note?
We're not necessarily treating your husband's death as suicide, Lady Barone.
You mean the tramp killed him? Or are you saying that he killed the tramp?
Oh.
Good morning. I am Lady Ursula Barone.
Inspector Miskin.
She says Paul's dead.
I'm very, very sorry.
There is no doubt.
It must be a mistake.
There is no doubt.
How did my son die?
That's not yet known for sure, Lady Ursula.
There were wounds, she says.
By his own hand.
We can't yet say.
You won't tell us anything.
Sit down.
Oh, it's a mistake.
So you keep saying, sit down, leave this to me. Matty, bring me coffee. A large pot, strong. No milk. No, thank you. I need no help. Are you in charge of...
No, Commander Dalgleish. I'm afraid he'll be wanting to speak to you both later on today.
Well, I can't stay in this house all day, not now.
You are my son's widow. Try and behave as such.
Oh, yes, this is just what you were born for, isn't it? Old Mother Courage, nobility and suffering.
Barbara, you are in a state of shock, my dear.
Is that all for now?
Yes, thank you, Lady Barone.
It was the same when I heard of my elder son's death. Raging thirst. And a feeling of disgust that one should outlive one's children.
I thought I'd get him out of the church, sir. They're out here.
Have you got an address for him?
Finally, the first one he gave us didn't exist.
Right. Would you excuse me? Hello. It was time we got you home. Your mum and dad will be worried.
Who are you then?
Commander Dalgleish.
You're the boss man around here?
Yeah, you could say that.
She never done it.
Miss Wharton, I won't hear that. You're both in the clear.
That's all right then.
You fond of her, are you?
She wants looking after. And I keep an eye on her like.
Then it's lucky you were with her.
Turned me out proper. She called me down from doing a candle.
Tell me about the candle.
A candle for the BVM, the lady in blue. Miss Walton, she always gives me like 10p. That's all.
And you're quite sure you never went into that vestry?
I keep telling you, I was behind her all the time.
How'd you get on?
Quite interesting.
I want you to take the boy home. His name's Darren. He's keeping something back. Might be important, might not.
You don't need me here, sir.
Speak to his parents. He should be at school. How are we doing on Harry Mack?
We've been on to the Wayfarers Refuge in Causeway Street. They give Harry his midday meal. He's well known there, a bit of a loner. He'd never sleep there. In fact, he always used to take his meals outside to eat. He couldn't bear anyone near him.
So it's hardly likely he knocked on the door and asked Barone to let him in. But he got in somehow.
Sir, kid's address?
Ask him.
Darren, is it?
Yeah?
I'm Inspector Miskin. Do you want to have a look at my car, then? It's much better than that one. Come on.
Found the bands? Commander Dalglish. I won't keep you long. This must have been a dreadful shock for you.
I'm responsible. I shouldn't have given him a key. They'll say I'm to blame.
You're not responsible. You know that perfectly well. Did you know Sir Paul Barone? Was he a friend of yours?
I first met him 11 days ago, when he came to early mass. Last week, he came to an evensong.
Did he tell you who he was?
After the evensong, he said his name was Paul Barone. I'm afraid it didn't mean anything to me at the time. He didn't say he was an MP or a baronet. After he resigned, I knew, of course, it was in the papers and on the television.
When did you see him next?
Yesterday. He asked me if he could sleep the night in the little vestry. He made it sound such an ordinary request. I didn't like to ask why. He wasn't a man you could cross-question.
Tell me about Harry Mack.
Oh, a few months ago, he suddenly turned up and began sleeping in the south porch. We've all tried to help Harry. Parish council, too, but he's a little too fond of his drink. And he fights.
Do you think Sir Paul might have noticed him sheltering in the porch? Asked him in to share some food?
That could have happened. It was cold last night.
How many keys are there to the church?
3. Miss Wharton has one, I have the other 2.
And the little vestry, what's it used for?
There are all my things for the services. I use it as an office sometimes. Parish council meets there each month.
The pathologist has arrived, sir.
Thank you, Inspector. And thank you, Father. I expect you want to get back to the vicarage.
No. I think I must stay here till all this is finished.
As you wish. We'll ask for a statement later.
I should telephone the dean or the archdeacon, shouldn't I?
Why do you remember so precisely that Paul Barone first came here 11 days ago?
At Mass, when he lifted his hands and I placed the wafer in his palms, I thought I saw. There were marks, wounds. I thought I saw stigmata.
You thought you saw the wounds of Christ on Paul Barone?
Yes.
On his palms?
On his wrists.
Have you told anyone about this?
Only you.
I think you should continue to say nothing. It's not relevant to his death.
I needed to speak about it, to share it. Now I've done so.
Inspector Morgan, this church is dimly lit. You could have imagined it. It could have been a trick of the light.
Yes?
Well, how did it look? I mean, different, changed?
Whatever it was I saw, if it was there, it didn't last long. A brief, powerful dream. And as you say, the light was very dim.
Inspector Morgan will arrange for you to use one of the phones from the car.
We fear to believe it.
Did you want to use the telephone, Father?
Thank you, yes.
Okay. So where's your mother?
In there.
So where do you sleep?
In there.
Just the two of you live here?
Yes.
You sure about that?
Yes.
You thieve all this? Oh, matey. You are in trouble.
I would have come round anyway, even if you hadn't phoned. Not only as Barbara's cousin, but as an old friend of both your sons.
My son has been murdered. The police will know it soon, if they don't already.
Oh, forgive me, but can you be sure?
Paul might have been capable of killing himself. Most people are given sufficient pain, but he could never have killed that man, that tramp that they talk about. Never, 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 never. That means some other person murdered them both. And there are facts that the police will now make it their business to discover.
What facts, Lady Ursula?
I may be crippled, but I still have the use of my eyes and intellect. The fact that you and Barbara are lovers, for instance. The police intend to interview Barbara and me as soon as they finish doing whatever it is they're doing at the church. And in time, they'll get round to you.
I don't see why I should be involved.
Stephen, do you imagine that there is anything in the life of a minister of the Crown not known to Special Branch? What sort of a world do you think we're living in?
What do you want of me?
You and Barbara must agree your story.
An alibi? You don't seriously think they'll suspect me of killing Paul because his wife happens to be my lover?
They may be interested in the fact that my son left instructions to withdraw his investment in your clinic.
How do you know?
That's not your concern.
He hadn't the time to do it.
You think not?
On the face of it, murder followed by suicide. The cuts are textbook. Two fairly superficial, both from left to right. One just above, swift and deep, severing the artery. And the razor neatly to hand. As I say, on the face of it, obvious. A bit too obvious.
Exactly.
One cut, though, again from left to right, which means that if Paul Barone killed him, he did it from behind.
So why isn't his shirt sleeve soaked with blood?
It is.
Yeah, but wouldn't you expect more blood if he cut Harry's throat?
Not if he rolled up his shirt sleeves first.
And roll it down again before cutting his own. Unlikely.
So where do you think he was, if and when he was attacked?
Well, from the position of the body, I think he was probably sitting on the side of the bed.
No sign of any resistance.
He could have been taken by surprise.
You say you knew him, madam?
Yes. Mostly across a committee table, but I knew him. And I liked him.
Well, then you won't want to see him as a murderer or a suicide. Adam, I'm going to examine the bodies in some detail now.
Well, that won't disturb you.
No, but since he was a friend of yours, might well disturb me.
You all right, Teresa?
I'm leaving tomorrow. Lady Ursula says she doesn't need me now.
Will you be coming back to the clinic?
I'm not sure, sir.
I made it perfectly plain when you left Pembroke Lodge to look after Lady Ursula that the appointment was only temporary. Your job with me is open whenever you want it. What is it, Teresa?
I can't stop crying. It's the shock.
I didn't realize you were so close to Sir Paul.
I'd come to look on him as a really good friend. I'm sorry. We used to talk at night when I'd settle Lady Ursula.
What did you talk about?
Oh, all sorts of things. They didn't like that.
Who?
The rest of them. Anyway, Lady Ursula says she's got more important things on her mind than her own health, so that's that.
Did you used to talk about your work at the clinic?
A bit.
Look, why don't you take a few days off? We'd expect you back at the clinic next week. Monday morning. Bye.
Who was that leaving?
Mr. Lampard.
Is that policeman still outside?
I don't know. Miss Matlock, is there anything I can do to help?
Yes. You can keep out of the way. This is our grief, not yours. Come in.
Why did you send for Stephen? I don't want him involved.
You can't avoid it. My son's death has started a process we have to live through, like it or not.
Stephen said you knew about us.
Yes.
And about the crazy idea to take the investment out of the clinic.
Yes.
Paul left everything to me. This house, everything. It's all mine. Well, nearly all. So I can do what I like. Did you know he was planning to sell the house?
Yes.
So the house is safe. It must be something to set against your grief.
Paul is my son. Was my son your husband? I insist that you respect his memory.
I'm pregnant with a boy. Your grandson. The Barone heir.
Yes, I know that too.
Just remember, the future is here. It's me. We all have something to gain from Paul's death. I suggest we protect each other.
Charlie?
What do you think?
Well, the diary's quite interesting, sir.
Tell me.
He tore out the pages covering the last 2 months. And next year's calendar page is gone, too. It looks like he burned them and chucked the rest of the diary on the flames. The cover's only singed there.
Yeah?
Handmade.
They look as though they've been carefully scraped.
Not enough. Traces of mud on the sides as well as under the left heel. Real mud, not your London dirt.
What about the blotter?
Must have been there years. It would be like an archaeological dig sorting out that one.
It's these new marks in black. That's what interests me.
Well, the lab will soon tell us if the ink matches, no problem.
So if that's the blotter and we've got the pen, where's the paper that was written on? Burnt?
Could be, sir.
Yeah, but you wouldn't write something, take all the trouble to blot it carefully, then burn it in the grate, would you?
I wouldn't. Somebody else might, particularly if they didn't like what I'd written.
We're finished here, sir. And we'll remove the bodies.
Charlie?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Well, he's housekeeper, so I know.
All right, Mrs. McBride, I'll take that.
Teacher will not. It's me, the parish priest, to look after Father Bodies. Please step aside. What right are you then to get in like that?
Detective Inspector.
You never are.
Just a minute.
Terrible thing for the
Father Barnes.
Up with the choir stall, Inspector.
Right, he's in the choir stall, Mrs. McBride. Go along with you.
Postmortem day after tomorrow, Adam. What? I know. It's the best I can do.
Condemn the separatist stand as weak and unrealistic.
Within the last half hour, it's been confirmed that one of two bodies discovered earlier this morning in St. Matthew's Church, Paddington, in West London, is that of Sir Paul Barone, whose resignation last week from politics caused surprise and speculation in Westminster. Until his unexpected decision to apply for the stewardship of the Chiltern Hundreds, the accepted form of resignation from government for personal reasons of ill health or family commitment, Sir Paul Barone had risen swiftly within the Conservative Party to a junior ministerial position in the Home Office.
Come in. Commander Dalgleish and Miss Miskin.
Lady Ursula, this is Mr. Dalgleish.
Afternoon.
Won't you sit down, Commander?
Thank you.
Thank you, anyway, for not burdening me with your condolences.
I knew your son, Lady Ursula, and I liked him.
How did he die?
His throat was cut. The tramp with him died the same way.
But how did he die?
An open razor was found close to him.
It was one of my son's affectations to continue to use an open razor. The pair were a gift to him from his father on his 60th.
There are questions I do need to ask, Lady Ursula. If you would rather, I could come back later.
Two of your questions I can anticipate. I have no reason to believe that my son intended to take his own life. And he had, to my knowledge, no personal enemies.
Tell me, did he ever talk to you about his faith?
No. No. He would not expect me to sympathize. I have never been a religious woman, though I accept there are people who have need of a faith, a need to find some meaning in existence. To me, that has always been a fruitless quest.
Did your son find it fruitless?
I can't answer that, Commander. But surely it had nothing to do with his death.
Well, when a man changes the whole direction of his life and is dead, possibly murdered within a week, then it has to be relevant, at least to our investigation.
Relevant? Yes, I've no doubt relevant to that. No, I'm sure that there will be few privacies in this family that will not be relevant to your investigation, Commander.
Could you very kindly confirm that this is your son's diary?
Yes, yes. But it's unimportant, surely. It's merely a record of engagements.
Odd that he should wish to burn it, then, as you see. Can you recall where and where you last saw it?
No, I'm afraid that is the kind of question, detail, that it is impossible for me to remember, Commander. Is there anything else? If it has no more urgent relevance than the questions you've asked so far, perhaps it could wait until you're certain that what you're investigating is murder.
Well, we know that already. The tramp, Harry Mack. He was murdered. I won't trouble you any more at the moment. I would now like to see your daughter-in-law, please.
You may find Lady Barone somewhat less distressed than you would expect. That is because she has no imagination. What her eyes do not actually see, she finds difficult to imagine. I say this merely in justice to you both.
Was she greatly upset at Diana Travers' death?
I'm sorry, I don't understand. Diana Travers had nothing to do with us.
But she worked here, and Lady Barone
Yes,
was
she
present.
worked here merely for a few weeks. She was an unemployed actress doing domestic work while she was resting, I think is the euphemism they use. It was hardly a matter that would engage my attention, and indeed it did not.
Sue?
I've been trying to get hold of you all morning.
I heard it on the lunchtime news. Can we go somewhere?
Yeah, through here. Grandmother phoned the college to pull me out of a lecture. So where have you been?
It's all right, Sarah. I'm here now.
Ivor, she doesn't think my father killed himself.
Naturally. Barone's meant to put on uniforms and kill other people.
No, don't talk like that. Not now. The police don't think it's suicide either.
How do you know? Have they seen you yet?
No, Grandmother told me. Apparently they wanted to see me, but I told them that I was lecturing all day and it was impossible.
And are you lecturing all day?
No.
Well, Sarah, they only need to look at the timetable. Never lie to the police if they can check.
But I had to speak to you first. I mean, how could I talk to them until we'd worked out what to say? He's dead, Ivor. My father's dead.
Sarah, come on, it's going to be all right. It's okay.
I've got to go and see Grandma.
Look, just remember why you cut yourself off from your family. Don't go running back like a frightened child.
He was my father. I loved him once.
Yes, I suppose you did.
I need to be told that it's not my fault.
It's not your fault.
I've been out. I couldn't stay cooped up here all day until you decided to come. Lady Barone, this is Commander Douglas. Yes.
How'd you do?
You'd better come up to the sitting room.
Thank you. Would you excuse us? We'll be with you in a few minutes. I'm sorry for any inconvenience, Lady Barone.
I really don't know how I can be of any use. Paul didn't have enemies, well, not personal enemies. Maybe political ones, but I didn't know much about that.
When did you last see him?
He came to see me yesterday morning, just before Mattie brought my breakfast.
What time was that?
I don't know, 9:15. You'll have to ask her.
Did he stay long?
No.
How did he seem?
His usual self.
Did he tell you how he proposed to spend the day?
Well, I know he was going to see an estate agent.
Would you know which one?
God presumably told him to sell the house, but I doubt he actually specified the agent.
And so the house will remain in the Barone family, eh?
Yes, of course it will. It comes to me. What else should happen to it? What's this got to do with you anyway?
It's an unfortunate fact about murder that we do have to intrude into people's grief.
I imagine Paul killed himself.
Why should you think that?
Well, he'd been in a disturbed state for some time. He'd made a mess of his second career as he had of his first.
Did he discuss his work with you?
He didn't discuss anything with me.
He was receiving anonymous letters. Did you know that?
No.
They were hurtful to him.
Did they involve me?
Well, they involved everyone close to him. He'd showed them to me. Part of his concern was to protect you.
It's so ridiculous. Mystical experiences and then dying in a church with some tramp. Did you like him?
Very much. I also admired him.
You admired him?
To get out of politics because he felt he was compromising his standards, that took a great deal of courage.
Oh, yes, his standards. I know all about those. I was married to him.
Listen, we were together for the whole of yesterday evening, from 6 when I called in on my way from work, and we stayed together all night. We even ate at your place, right? Now get that into your mind, that's what happened.
Right, okay, then that's what I'll tell them.
I'll be there, I'll tell them. Now we can go over the details of the story tonight. I'll come round about 8. Okay?
He came in here just before 10 to collect some food for a picnic lunch. He knew where things were kept, so he helped himself. Half a loaf, some cheese, 2 apples. He didn't say where he was going or when he'd be back.
Was it usual for him to stay out all night without telling anyone?
It's not my business what the family choose to do. He could have been staying in the constituency.
Do you know where he normally kept his diary?
In his desk in the study.
How many people would have had access to it?
Access? The study is part of a private house. We don't keep it locked. All the family and their friends have what you call access.
Where did you spend yesterday evening?
Here, or in my room. Mr. Dominic Swain came round for a meal and a bath.
Dominic Swain?
Lady Barone's brother. Afterwards, we played Scrabble.
Does he often come to this house for a bath?
And the flat he shares only has a shower, and that's in the toilet. He came round last night to see Lady Barone, but she was out.
What time was that?
He came before 7 and left before 11. You can confirm that. The neighbours were garaging their car when I locked up after him.
And where did he bath?
Upstairs, in the main bathroom.
So you were either in your own room or in the kitchen, and Mr. Swain was upstairs for at least part of the evening. Did he speak to Lady Ursula?
No, not to my knowledge.
The back door, was it locked?
And bolted. It always is after tea. Look, all these questions. Anybody'd think that Sir Paul had been murdered.
Well, it is possible he was murdered.
I thought...
What?
I don't feel well. I don't want to be badgered. I thought he might have committed suicide.
Thank you. You've been very helpful. I don't think you really believe we've been badgering you, do you? We shall have to ask more questions, but it needn't be now. Thank you. We can see ourselves out.
Nobody sees themselves out of this house. It's my job.
She's not telling everything she knows.
Get on to CRO, see what they got. Her father, Percy Matlock, was convicted of murder. Killed himself in prison.
Ah.
It's interesting Lady Barone gets the house. You'd expect a place like that to be entailed.
What does that mean?
It passes automatically from heir to heir. Can't be sold out of the family.
Oh, lucky old Barbara.
Don't dismiss her grief out of hand.
What do you think you're doing?
Just washing up Lady Ursula's lunch things.
Get out of my kitchen.
I want to help.
Keep out. I've warned you.
I want to help for his sake.
His sake? Oh, yes. Do you know what we call you here? The holy hypocrite.
Why do you hate me?
You wormed your way into this house.
I didn't.
Late night chats. Your little secret smiles.
What are you talking about?
You and him, holy hypocrite.
He liked to talk to me.
Won't get round me or anybody else here. Why don't you get out? You're not wanted here. Leave us alone!
You should be put away. Miss Matlock.
This is my kitchen. Get out. Get out! Yes. Yes, yes, yes.